My grandpa Antonio was a very well man. He made a fortune by establishing a chain of movie theaters across all America. Uh, he grew a small business into a multi-millionaire enterprise. Um, he was a self-made man who went from rags to riches. Money doesn't grow on trees. Um, he used to say, money doesn't grow on trees. He taught his children and grandchildren that the true value of money arises from hard work and something else and ambition. Uh, he earned his millions all by himself, by not without winning a lottery or getting unexpected inheritance from his uncle. Um, I'm very proud of my grandpa. He know how to live from paycheck to paycheck, or to be so broke you even can't afford a bus fare. He was a reasonable spender, so he never threw money down the drain. Uh, uh, he preferred to make investments or put his savings into a bank account rather than waste money on fancy boats or cars. Uh, he got rich by doing what he loved. Um, Also, he donated money to build schools in the poorest districts. Um, he even got a college degree because he strongly believed in education. But he established a charity fund that uh, provided that help poor people uh, the, to get grants or scholarships. He helped poor people from poor districts who were strapped for cash. Um, he always said that spend money on education is never wasted. Uh, Also, he made a donation for a business program for immigrants. My grandma Antonio came to US, United States, from a small country, Salvador, in Central America. Uh, when he came in USA, he was as poor as a church mouse. So he had to borrow money from his family. They lent him as much as they could, and his first year in USA, he lived on a shoestring because the cost of living in USA is much greater than in his home country. Uh, like most immigrants who came to the land of opportunity in search of fame and fortune. Uh, he worked hard on any available job to survive. Living on a tight budget, he worked as a dishwasher and uh, fast food cook, and even or even construction worker. To make ends meet, he even worked in the nightclub, and he swept the floor in front of the store. He still owed money to his relative, so he had to work day and night to pay off his debts. But soon this time came and respect from people, because he always tipped waiters, taxi drivers, and cleaners and other service industry workers, because he knew he was in their shoes, and he knew how to be there. Then he started to save enough money by depositing them into his bank account. As soon he met his future wife, my grandmother to be, but he was so shy and he didn't know how to approach her. So he applied for a job where she worked to see her more often. So he loved he loved cinema, and she loved. He fell in love with cinema, and she fell in love with him. So he bought a great expensive diamond ring that cost him an arm and a leg, and he proposed her. Soon they got married. Then a year later he was promoted from movie projectionist to a cinema manager, and through 1 year he was running the entire theater. So he earned enough money that he could afford to buy a car and a bigger apartment to his family. He kept stashing money in his saving account and receiving interest. Then he started investing in stocks. He always said money makes more money. So he had enough money to start his own business. He took out $50,000 from his account for keeping money for a rainy day, and in addition to this drawing cash from the bank, he also cashed out stocks. He bought his small theater, his small movie theater. So that's how he became a business owner. But his first venture turned out to be failed. Everything started off well, but business wasn't made too much perfect, and he went belly up after 6 months. He was running out of money, and he had to take a loan and sell his car to settle debts. Soon Antonio went bankrupt. He lost all of his money, and he had to start it from scratch. But instead of pitying himself, he did the best, learn from his mistake. Then he got enrolled on the business courses. Through a year later, he came up with a proper business plan and started looking for sponsorships. He managed to find a few investors and raised enough capital to open another movie theater. then, through many years, he grew into a chain of 60 locations across 44 states. When when was his 80th birthday, our grandpa said that he wants to have rest, and he decided to retire it and go on a trip around the world. And also he said that he had achieved everything he ever dreamed of. Through a couple of years he died. Now my family inherited his business and my turn to take a lead.